Perfect. So, everybody, I cannot see your faces, but here's mine. Welcome to each single of you, beautiful people, for being here. Each time I have this huge gratefulness to y'all. So, today is going to be very fun, right? It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be another standard presentation because I will not be explaining in detail what Stark Ring is or how our partner program works or what other products exist inside the company, etc., because we have separate materials for all that, right? Just by the way, I have my here Stark Ring on my finger. Very proud of having it on my finger. You guys will soon have it all on your fingers as well. So, people, today the topic is indeed different. Okay, we'll be focusing on results, right? Because the last 2 months have become an important stage of development for us Stark family. Today, I want for the first time to bring together in one place everything that has happened to the company during this period of 2 months. How many people are part of Stark today? How much capital has been formed inside the investment direction? What results our leaders have achieved, how the product audience is developing, how the existing products are scaling, and most importantly, where we are moving next. Because a single number by itself means extremely little, right? What matters much more is seeing the dynamics. All right. And of course, understanding what those dynamics are gradually turning into. So if you guys are tuned in, let's go. Okay, we are already on the slide 2. So see, we have 2 directions in one ecosystem. All right. As you can see, the investment direction and the product ecosystem. Please have a look on this slide carefully, because to understand today's results correctly, we first need to separate these 2 sides of Stark, right? So let's have a look on the left side, which is the investment direction. So these are the people who place capital inside the company's financial model, all right? And the right side is the product itself, the product ecosystem. So these are so yeah. Just to go back to the second slide, please. I will explain the number. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So these 2 people are not necessarily the same. Okay, a person may not participate in the investment direction at all and still use our products, right? And vice versa. An investor may, at the same time, use several Stark solutions, because for us, it is critically important to develop both sides. Because our long term task is, of course, not to be a company of a single product or a single model. We're building an ecosystem, people. All right. Now, if that's clear, let's go on to the next slide. Let us begin with the investment direction. Okay. We have actively currently 5,300 active investors. At the current stage of the company's development, this is one of the key indicators. We're not simply talking about registered accounts. We are here talking about all the people who made the decision to place their own capital inside the Stark ecosystem. So more than 5,000 people is excellent in a very relatively short period of time. So here is the number, and this is only the first part of the picture. Okay. Let's have a look at the raised capital. All right. $3 million. No, stay there, please. $3 million. Capital in the ecosystem, average active investment size being $570. Okay. So today, with 5,300 active investors and $570 being average investment size, is also a very important indicator for us because it shows a very broad participant structure. Stark does not depend only on a few large investors. We are here to show that the capital is distributed among thousands and thousands of people. Some start with a small amount, some place more. But what's important here, guys, is that we see a mass participation model. Okay, and this is exactly the structure that creates the foundation for further scaling. So congratulations to all of us for that. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So current numbers, okay, that I have showed you in the previous slide only matter when we understand where we come from, correct? So in the first month of the current development stage, we had approximately 1,000 active investors. Only the volume of raised capital was about $200,000. Today, guys, listen to this. We're already talking about 5,300 active investors, $3 million in capital, as I said. And here, I don't want to overload you with percentages. It's enough to simply look at 2 points. Okay, the first month, all right, and today. See how strongly the scale of the company has changed over a relatively short period of time yourself. All right. And here we are having our leadership board, right? I will present you the people behind the numbers. Okay. Behind every number, there are human beings, real people, right? Individual decisions, individual teams, individual markets. And it is especially important to look at these leaders during this period who managed to build strong structure and show visible team results, right? The first example, Mateo Rodriguez from Latin America. Today, the team turnover of his structure is around $520,000. This is the highest result amongst the leaders we're highlighting today. Good job, Mateo. Yeah. But for us, for all, the number itself is not the only important thing. Behind it stands an already formed local market, its own community, a team, and a system that is able to keep developing further. Well done, Mateo. Let's have a look at Chen Wei, all right, from China. Okay, leader number 2. Okay, key number $390,000 of turnover of structure from his own structure. This is an example of consistent scaling, people, right? This is not a short-term result, but systematic work in his own market, right? So bravo. So for us, leaders like this are especially important because it means that sustainable international growth is always built through strong local teams. Okay, let's move on to Anatoly Amirov from Kazakhstan. Very good job, $270,000 of turnover with his own structure. Another example, okay, of how independent, strong directions are starting to form inside the company of Stark, and we want to definitely see more and more such stories. Okay, not just active partners, but real people who are able to build a stable system around themselves. Once again, congratulations to these people and bravo. Okay, now we're going to talk about products. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so products. This is where a critically important part of today's meeting begins. So please stay tuned. If we showed only the number of investors and the raised capital, of course, a picture of the company will be incomplete. Because Stark's long-term task is not only the development of the investment direction, but we are basically fundamentally building a technology company, correct? So the next question is very simple. Are people using our products? Anyways, me, I'm using it already. Yeah, you have the ring on my finger. Over the last months, folks, we have also seen serious dynamics here. So let me present all of the details to you in the next slide, right? Let's start with the famous ring that I showed you multiple times on camera already, and I'm showing you again. So the Stark ring, the number of sold devices around 17,000 rings. This is already a completely different scale compared to what we saw at the previous stage, right? And this is especially important here that we're talking about a physical product. It must be produced and delivered and passed to the user. The person has to wear it daily, use the application, receive data, return to the product again. And that is exactly why the growth in the number of Stark ring users is one of the key indicators of real consumer demand for us. Now, let's have a look at digital products now, not only the physical ones. Okay. So let's move on. We're seeing similar dynamics in our digital products as well, guys. Okay, Stark Pink today forms an audience of approximately 10,200 users. Stark Green around 350 users. It's not on the slide, but that's the number. And Stark Black has reached approximately 8,700 installations, of which about 6,600 plus users continue to use it actively. Okay. And here, another indicator is very important for us. So it's not just about installation, but regular daily use, because it is the returning user who shows the real value of the product. Correct? All right. So now let's have a look at the product audience deeper in deeper perspective. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Yes. So today, our unique product audience is approximately at 11,500 and plus people. And here's it is very important to emphasize one thing: 5,300 investors, as I told you, and around 11,500 users. They are not the same audience. Okay, this is fundamental. So listen to this carefully. A product must have value by itself. Yeah, a person can use a VPN, work with AI, use a private browser, or wear the Stark ring. Correct, but at the same time, they cannot be interested in the investment side of the company at all. So this is exactly how a large product ecosystem should develop. Very important to distinguish this two. That being said, let's go to the next slide. I just said that these two parts were distinguishable, but once again, very exciting to announce that both of these two are into one account and one ecosystem. So the ring, Stark Pink, Stark Green, Stark Black, all into one account, meaning that you guys all know that separate products by themselves do not yet create an ecosystem, right? An ecosystem begins when products start strengthening one another. Okay, they interact together. It starts when the user gets one unified experience, when the audience of one product becomes the potential audience of another, and the whole ecosystem. So that's the architecture that we are moving toward, right? That being said, let's have a look at Stark today with the numbers. All right. So I have presented all the numbers previously during this presentation. But once again, if we gather today's Stark onto one screen, right, this is what it looks like, and it's truly beautiful. Let me go through the numbers real quick once again, just to emphasize how beautiful this is. Okay, so first of all, more than 5,000 active investors, $3 million in raised capital, average active investment size of around 570 US dollars, thousands of sold Stark Ring devices, thousands of users using digital products daily, and and an audience that already significantly exceeds the number of participants in the investment direction. But for us, folks, this is not the final result. This is just the current point and the foundation for the next stage. We are still hungry, okay? So that being said, let's see what comes next. Very exciting part. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so the first direction is the further development of the products that already exist. So once again, ring, pink, green, black, and we are here to scale them. Okay, it's all about scaling. And after that, we are simultaneously improving the functionality and expanding the user base. Okay, we're working on product quality, and all at the same time, we are beginning to develop a completely new direction, and we call this, of course, financial technologies in one. Okay, extremely beautiful. Now, let's go to the next slide. Let me please talk about the Stark Trading Terminal. I think I made a couple videos about this, but I'm once again very excited to announce again that starting September, we're launching a major new product inside the Stark ecosystem. And that is the Stark Multifunctional Trading Terminal, right? For us, this is much more than just another device. This is the company's entry into a completely new direction. Fintech, guys, fintech, okay? Now, indeed, one terminal, multiple markets, okay? The idea of the terminal is extremely simple. We are here to give the user the ability to work with several of the largest asset classes inside one trading environment, such as stocks, currency pairs, FX pairs, right? Cryptocurrencies. Okay, these three. We want to combine these three directions inside one product, one interface, one environment, one Stark ecosystem. So please show us the next slide. I'll be explaining why this truly matters, okay? Why this matters, why this is so important for us guys, is because a trading terminal is not simply the launch of a new product. It will give investors in Stark the investor in Stark's venture direction to access to international financial markets and allow them to work with stocks, currency pairs, and crypto inside one infrastructure. The launch of our own brokerage company will be a major step in the development of Stark as a full-fledged fintech ecosystem. What does that mean? We are moving from a model in which the company only creates investment and technological products, okay, into a model in which Stark forms its own infrastructure for giving users access to global financial markets. This expands the possibilities of the entire ecosystem. The investor gets not only access to Stark's venture direction, but also tools for independent work with international financial assets. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And this is truly important and exciting. We are introducing the Stark crypto card. Okay. The next step after the trading terminal is indeed the Stark crypto card. Here's the deal. Let me clarify this so that you can understand this idea correctly. This is not just a card for withdrawing funds from Stark, yeah? This is way more than that. We want to create a full-fledged payment instrument for everyday life, okay? A card that a person can use every day. Yeah, there you go. A card that a person can use daily, receive funds, top it up, pay for purchase online, use it in stores, in restaurants, in services while traveling. In other words, you can use it as a normal everyday payment card. Okay? Extremely beautiful. Yeah. Please go through it slowly. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So now, before I go to the payment infrastructure presentation, we ran through very briefly some images and contents about this card. I would like to really add one point is that really we said early September, but it might even be even earlier, which means very exciting enough to say that we'll be probably launching a mobile crypto bank as well next week. Yeah. And some people might say, oh, yeah, we've seen this before, blah, blah, blah. But once again, Stark is special for one reason, is because we do everything better than our competitors, right? So, that being said, let's have a look at the payment infrastructure, right? So, we have Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, Google Pay, right? So, once again, a daily card with the support of Visa, MasterCard, that is nothing new for you all, but exciting enough to say that Apple Pay and Google Pay will be also supported. Okay. This actually means one very simple thing. Yeah. The users do not need to think about where the digital environment ends and normal life begins. Okay. Funds should be available where the person actually uses them. Extremely simplified. Let's go to the next one where I'll be presenting the financial infrastructure of our company. Yeah. Voila. Trade, hold, pay. This is exactly where it becomes much clearer why the trading terminal and the crypto card should be seen together. The terminal gives tools for working with financial markets, correct? The card creates a bridge between digital assets and everyday spending. In other words, we're starting to form not just two separate products, we're starting to form our own financial infrastructure. Now, Let's move to the next slide, please, where I'll be talking about, yes, the new Stark architecture. Have a look here, all right? So, health, privacy, AI, and finance. If we look at Stark, after the appearance of the new financial direction, the overall architecture of the company becomes extremely clear, okay? And uh, it will be describable with these four core pillars, okay? So once again, health, privacy, AI, finance, all at the same time. And this doesn't mean that we are abandoning the existing products. It's actually the contrary, because each direction must continue to develop and become stronger. So you might ask me, Pierre, what's the bigger picture? I will tell you. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yes, guys, dear partners, dear all the human beings that support Stark, please, you can look at Stark and see separate elements. As I told you multiple times, the Ring VPN, AI browser, investment direction, trading, terminal, crypto card, etc. However, we do not look at all of this as a random set of products. Our task is to gradually build infrastructure where every next product gets access to an already existing audience. Now, every new user strengthens the ecosystem, I told you already, and every new market creates additional opportunities for scaling. Now, this is how big systems are built over time. So, um, separately, I also wanted to address to you once again a very important message that the over the last 2 months, the partner community has become one of the main reasons for the speed of our development and our growth. You guys open the markets, you guys create communities, you guys build teams, and you guys introduce people to the products. Yeah. But the next stage will require a little bit more than that. We do not need just active partners, we need leaders. Yeah. Not just partners, we definitely need leaders. People who are able to build a full fledged system around themselves because technology creates opportunities. However, scale is always created by people. Very important. I would like to finalize my presentation little by little by telling you guys that when a company is at the beginning of its journey, it's very easy to talk and talk and just talk about the future. Any startups or starting companies can draw any roadmap, set any goal, describe any scale, but over time, words must turn into results. That's the basic point of a business. Today, I showed you already what we have as the first results. Let me remind you, we have 5,300 active investors, $3 million in raised capital, thousands of product users, and 17,000 Stark Ring devices that are sold. More than 11,000 unique users of the product ecosystem. And we also have strong international leaders. As I told you, Matteo, Chen, Anatoly, and now is the time where the next stage begins. Okay, start trading terminal. As I told you, once again, let me remind you: stocks, currency pairs, crypto, and the next step is once again the crypto card that we showed you very briefly. All right. But if I had to add one more thing to that, it's a full-fledged payment instrument that should connect digital assets with everyday life. Uh, and you guys already know I'm a hungry person. Yeah. So I do not consider this the final result. I consider this just an opportunity to move to the next level. And that's why I wanted to have this Zoom meeting with you today to promise you that now our task is not to just grow quickly, but to grow systematically. Systematically. We're not just launching products, we are creating products that people really use. We're not just attracting partners, we are creating leaders. We're not just uh, here to talk about an ecosystem, we're building it. The last 60 days have given us a foundation. Now the work on scale begins, guys. Okay, so thank you for everyone who is part of Stark today. Once again, from the bottom of my heart. And mark my words, we are here for the next chapter, and already it has started. It begins now. So thank you for your attendance, your time, and for listening to my presentation. My name is Pierre, Stark CEO. Thank you once again. Thank you. Bye bye.